Thank you. I would also say that I welcome the paper that's been brought forward. I welcome the consultation. I think planning reform is certainly long overdue. I do believe that it will be important that we try and engage as widely as possible if we're serious about engaging communities right across Scotland. Today we had a number of briefings sent to us for the Royal Town Planning Institute of Scotland, Planning Aid Scotland, Planning Democracy and the John Muir Trust. And I certainly intend to circulate those briefings, and I would encourage those organisations to look at how they can engage more widely with community organisations. Graham Simpson talked about community councils. The reality is right now that community councils are the body that is consulted and therefore tends to take more interest in planning. So certainly community councils are a good starting point for engaging with this debate before the consultation closes on the 4th of April.
Kevin Stewart.
Thank you, President Officer. I welcome those comments by Mr Rowley. And at the very early stages of the publication of the consultation, I wrote to all MSPs highlighting that the consultation was now live. And I'd be really grateful for everyone in this chamber to use their networks to contact as many folk as possible to allow them to take part in this consultation. I'm very grateful for what Mr Rowley has said, because I want to see as many folk involved as possible.
Alex Rowley.
Yeah, and on that basis, I think there is a lot of room to work together. I was disappointed when I saw the motion that was put forward from the Minister, because I think the important starting point for us is to recognise where we're at. The commission that was put in place by Alec Neil, within, I think, weeks of it reporting, the first thing the government did was to rule out the equal right of appeal. And I think as part of this consultation, to answer Gil Patterson's question in terms of the balance between developers and the community, many communities and many people who have experienced the planning process don't actually feel at this stage that there is some kind of equality there between the communities and developers. And to simply rule out the equal right appeal, one of the things I hope we can tease out over this coming period of time is exactly how and what rights communities are going to have. Because certainly for many communities, in Inverkeithing, for example, where recently a green belt development was approved not by the local authority who refused it, the democratic process, but was overruled by the reporter. And we see far too much of that happening, and to fill, we need more than warm words in terms of empowering communities. The other point I think about the motion and why I felt it was right to amend it is we need to also recognise the pressure that planning officials are under. This motion talks about being able to bring forward new ways, digital transformation of the planning service. I would say to the Minister, have a look at the Fife planning system. You can track right through for the very moment that a planning application is made. If you register, then the council come back and inform you every step in it. There's a lot of advances being done, but the fact is that planning services right across Scotland are under massive pressure. The Royal Town Planning Institute for Scotland has said between 2010 and 2015 around 20% of posts were lost from planning departments in Scotland. On average, 0.63% of local authority budgets were used directly for planning functions. Currently, 63% of the costs processing a planning application are recovered by the fee charged. So we need to look at whether as the report does say, as the consultation does say, whether we go further in terms to recoup those charges. But the fact is that one of the biggest pressures and that makes it slower for planning authorities to deal with planning applications is that they have been getting cut year in, year out with their budgets, and therefore the number of planners go down. And it's not just the number of planners. You then lose that expertise within the planning system. So we need to address that, and I'm not sure glossing over that, and that's why I brought forward the amendment, and that's why in its current form I would not support this motion that's put before us. You can't simply just gloss over that. I did write to the Cabinet Secretary regarding the planning review and raised the concern about the equal right appeal. But in that letter, I highlighted that few would disagree with the Government's intention of strengthening the planning system to ensure it better serves communities across Scotland. One of the things I highlighted there was community planning. And we need to tease that out and look at how we can better join up community planning, because that is certainly one way that local communities can have a far greater say in terms of setting out what their priorities are as we move forward. And so we need to look at how that happens. In terms of looking at resources coming into communities where there are major developments taking place, it's also important that we look at not just physical resources, important as that is, and community planning can be part of that, but I would want to refer to the Royal College of General Practitioners on what they had to say in terms of GP surgeries and how they're concerned. Their chairman, Dr Miles Mack, said any attempts to tackle Scotland's insufficient housing supply must consider the impact on local general practices, many of which are struggling to survive while serving the size of the communities they already are responsible for. And I think that key point there is that we've got to engage communities so that where there's housing developments taking place, not only are we sure that the infrastructure goes in place, the surgeries, the hospital, the schools, but also that the services can be provided. Community planning can deliver a lot of that. So as Graham Simpson said, as the Minister has said himself, there is a lot in this. Generally, although we would not support the motion in its current form, we support the review that's taking place. We would urge ministers and every MSP to take this issue into communities, get the discussion going so that we can build a better planning system that can deliver the infrastructure, the housing, the jobs, and do so in partnership with communities rather than to communities.